And now a highlight from Animal Radio on iHeartRadio.
We have Dr. John Huber joining us. Dr. John Huber is a clinical forensic psychologist, and I have no idea what that means, really. But I'm going to let him explain. Hi, doctor. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. Thanks for having me on Animal Radio.
Thanks. So what is a clinical forensic psychologist?
Well, I'm a clinical psychologist, but I've also been trained in issues related to court proceedings. For example, competency to stand trial, insanity defense, child custody evaluations, and sentencing type things. I just worked on a federal case with a guy looking at the life without parole. So,
okay. You've done a little bit of research, or you found out that we may prefer our dogs over humans in many, many different instances. Is that correct?
Definitely. I mean, even my own producer admits to skipping out on dinner parties to hang with his dog. So.
That's an excuse that I'll hear. I don't know why, but I'll hear ladies will say to me, "I've got to go home and shampoo my dog, or let my dog out, or something like that." Oh, what? You've never heard that?
Yeah, of course.
I noticed when one of my animals passed recently, I was a little more upset than when one of my human relatives passed. And this is apparently very common.
It is.
In fact, you did some research, or you found out that there were students that were shown fake newspaper clippings of a baseball attack on a puppy, an adult dog, a year-old infant, and a 30-year-old adult. What were the results from that?
Well, basically the puppy and the baby were pretty much in a dead heat, but the dog, and the puppy totally, was chosen over the adult, period. There was no question at all. And, you think about it, the one amazing thing about puppies and dogs is it's unconditional. If you don't have the money for the best food, they don't care. They love you for who you are. And there's not a lot of places in this world that we can get that.
Is it true, like on, crowdfunding, some of those websites, that if it's for an animal, people tend to give more than it is for a person who needs maybe like a surgery or something? If they both needed surgery, the animal ends up getting more?
In general, that's what we're finding, that, if you really want to raise money for something, an animal, especially a dog or a puppy, man, they get many more donations than humans, period.
What do you think are some of the reasons why we love our dogs more than people?
Well, again, it doesn't matter what kind of day you've had. You don't have to explain yourself when you're in a bad mood. And then they still love you. And, how many licks on the face does it take to get to the center of your heart? Forget the Tootsie Pop, and all of a sudden you're in a better mood. So, that connection that we have with our pets is just amazing. And, we're blessed to have those four-legged furry friends. That's all I can really say.
Judy is obsessive about her dog. I mean, she
Hey.
spoils her dogs. She's always with her dog. Is that unusual, strange behavior, or where does she sit on the mental spectrum? You know what I mean?
Well, one of the questions I always get is, will I dress my dog up for Halloween and then for Christmas and maybe Thanksgiving? And I understand special occasions. I think maybe if it gets a little obsessive, if you're dressing your dog up every single day. Now, I heard you just a minute ago talking about Alaska. Some dogs are just not meant for that kind of cold, and you need to help protect them, and they have, coats and sweaters and things like that for them. That's a little different. But, if you're spending money that would normally go to your food, for example, on buying extra clothes for your dog, I think you might need to come in and talk to me.
Is it wrong for me to cancel plans with people to stay home with my dog?
I don't think it's
Absolutely
wrong.
not, Judy.
Is this your mom or your brother-in-law?
What about the person who decides to save the life of a dog over a human? In some catastrophic situation, they have the choice and they choose the dog.
Well, it's really interesting. If you look at genetic predisposition, what we know is if you have a child, that child is 50% your genetics. And what we see is the research says you would save that child over your dog. Your grandchild is 25% your genes. And right there seems to be that cutoff. Anything less than that, and we'd save the dog first.
Wow.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time today. You actually make me feel normal.
Well, you are normal. Come on.
I think
I love my dogs and my cats.
Yeah, we all do. And some people, they think it's funny that we dress up our animals, or we spoil them, or we move all around the bed at night so that they're just nice and comfortable in bed.
I had that. My cat woke me up about 4 times last night because he didn't like where I was laying.
So you have cats?
I have a cat and a dog.
And
and then I have 2 children too. I have to feed them. So.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.